This video I want to state that strength makes all the difference. Meaning, like, when somebody's strong and they integrate that with combative techniques, they become a very dangerous individual. And when you look at children, for example, like, they're not strong, and that's why they're not that much of a threat. No matter how much training they have in the martial arts, they're just not strong enough to become a threat. Now, you look at the difference between like a pellet gun, a BB gun, a paintball, and then like a real bullet. Like, the real bullet is like real steel, and it's a big piece of steel that's going at a high speed, and that is extremely dangerous and life-threatening. Compared to a pellet gun and a BB gun and a paintball, like, those are nothing compared to the real strong steel that's going at a high speed. So if you think about a human being that's really strong and he trains in combat, he becomes deadly, especially if you integrate that with speed, hand speed, foot speed. They become dangerous people, and the strength is what makes the difference. So meaning, if you got a man who could bench press like this, over 200 pounds, over 300 pounds, and he could do over 30 pull-ups, and he could squat like over 200 pounds, over 300 pounds of weight, he can be a very dangerous person compared to a person who could only bench press the bar, can only do one pull-up, can't even squat the barbell. He just doesn't have much strength. He's not that dangerous, and that strength makes all the difference. And really, that's why women are at a disadvantage when it comes to like fighting, is because it's hard to even imagine a woman that could bench press over 200 pounds. It's hard to even imagine a woman that could squat over 200 pounds. Women, their bodies are not structured to be able to lift so much weight. They don't have as much strength as the men. And the only other option that they have is to be reliant on the speed. But the strength is what makes the difference. So when you have a person that has real strength, and they combine that strength with combative techniques, with speed, they become a very dangerous person. That could be very lethal. So, like, having people spar like little kids, they can't really hurt each other that much because there's not much strength. But when you have two adults spar that are very strong, they can hurt each other pretty badly. Just think about the difference between dropping like a 5-pound weight on your foot compared to like 100-pound weight on your foot. That 100-pound weight coming down onto your foot could literally destroy your entire foot. You drop down a 5-pound weight, it's gonna hurt, but it's not gonna be nearly as painful as dropping down that 100-pound weight. So when a person has they're just very strong with their legs, with their arms, and they punch you, they kick you with a lot of force, you add that strength with the speed, it becomes very deadly. So that's what sets the difference. That's why, like, when they're really strong, not that they just look strong, but they really are strong, then it's something that you have to be careful when you engage with them in combat. But when you got somebody they're not that strong, it's not a big deal. You know, they can't really hurt you that much. You know, they punch and kick you, you don't even feel anything. I mean, if people just, you know, try sparring with a kid that's 8 years old, a 10-year-old kid, he's not going to really hurt you that much. But when that 10-year-old grows up to be 25 or 30 years old and they train and they're really strong, now they could hurt you. Because that strength is what makes the difference when it comes to combat. You know, and people say, you know, some people that are weak will say, oh, it's not all about strength. Well, they're only saying that because they're weak. You know, a lot of it has to do with strength. Yes, speed is important too. And just imagine how devastating or how destructive a human being can be when there's speed and strength. So, you look at a projectile like a firearm, it's an immense amount of speed coming at you with steel, which is strength, representing strength. So you got an immense amount of speed and you got a steel object coming at you. That creates the most deadly force. Now, if there's an immense amount of speed and it's like a cotton ball coming at you, that's not gonna do anything to you. It's a cotton ball or a feather. There's no strength there. You know, but you need the speed and you need the strength combined, and that creates devastation. So when you see somebody that's already strong, they already have half of it. All they need is the speed. And then you know that this person you need to watch out for. And then you have somebody that might be fast, like a little child. A 10-year-old could be fast. But without the strength, they're not deadly. There needs to be the speed and the strength combined that creates the deadly force. And that's the equation that turns something that becomes not so serious into something very serious. And that's just the reality of it. And you know, when you see people that are strong, you just need to learn to respect that strength and just be like, you know, they're strong. And they might be stronger than you are. And you need to acknowledge that and accept that. And not try to turn it into a deadly game of proving yourself, but just realize that, hey, you know, this person, he's very strong. And that's something that you may not have developed within yourself that you need to put some attention towards, rather than trying to hide your weakness and basically test your ego through dangerous methods of challenging a person that you know is stronger than you, but you challenge them to a deadly game of pride and ego through fighting. You know, I think there's a lot of insecurities. I think that a lot of people that aren't strong, but they might practice combat, they might be a little bit fast, they have a lot of insecurities within when they see strong people, and then they want to test their abilities on the strong people to try to make themselves feel a little bit more secure about their weaknesses. You know, but no matter how fast you are, no matter how much you train in combat, without that strength, you are missing a very important component to completing the equation towards developing yourself to be a highly dangerous and lethal force. And once you know you have that strength, and you know you have the speed, and you know you have the training, there's nothing to feel insecure about. There's nothing to feel that you have to prove anything. Like, you know you have the components that completes the equation that basically turns your human body into a deadly weapon. You know, people that are not strong, it's like a person carrying around a pellet gun thinking that it's going to protect them, but it's not strong. Of course they're going to have insecurities because that pellet gun is not that dangerous. People, you know, that are very strong but they lack the speed might be some of these people that go to the gym all the time and they look very big and strong, but they don't really have the proper training, and they don't have the muscle coordination to know how to turn their bodies into weapons. But the people that are truly trained in the proper method, that have that equation fulfilled with the strength and the speed and the training and the technique, it's like a person that's carrying around a real gun that is a very dangerous weapon that can be used effectively to protect themselves from danger. And when you have that formula, there's nothing to prove. When you have a real gun with you, there's nothing to prove. You don't need to prove to anybody that it works. You know it works. And the only time you take it out is when you need to use it, you know, to defend yourself. But otherwise, you hide it. You conceal it. And act as if you don't have it. Because that concealment is going to work towards your advantage. It's like your inner strength that doesn't come out unless it is absolutely necessary.